Hello. I'm making a video using the last daylight now. I've been working all day. I'm kind of tired. I'm getting grounded now in the garden, which feels good. So I want to talk about a couple of things that have been on my mind. And obviously those are always pretty much the same things. Psychology, parapsychology, and therapy process, which I'm in. I'm in my own therapy process, and I talk to myself like one of these homeless people who have no one to talk to. I talk to myself a lot. I talk to the baby dog. I talk to the computer. I talk to the haters. So yeah, because I talk to Paul sometimes, but obviously Paul is not capable of listening, so he doesn't have any patience to listen. And it's sad, and it is what it is. I have to just accept that. This is what the situation is. I have a spray bottle with me now, so in case he comes running. He already came running, and I sprayed him full force into his face. Then he left, and he was offended by that. But I said, look, if you attack me like this, even if it's a play attack, I have to spray. I have no other option left here with this, So I made rhododendron tea. I'm gonna drink that after I made the video. But it's nice and peaceful here right now in the garden. I like it. Feels good. But there's a ton of things that I want to talk about. So what I see in the chat room, and it's very sad. It makes me very sad. What I see in the chat room is if I am declaring myself completely single, like even in terms of internet single, okay, and I'm not flirting with anyone and so on, then I get attacked too. I get attacked no matter what it is. I get attacked and they will say, you never date anyone. There's a reason for it. Okay. I wouldn't just be celibate like this if there was no rock solid reason for it. And the reason is, I don't want to be killed. That's the reason. So, obvious. So, there was always one guy, one in quotation mark, one guy in the chat room by the name Frank and Berries. Okay. And I always thought that's Zane. I always thought that from already for several years. But then I wasn't so sure because he definitely showed a different personality. Then I wasn't sure, maybe he has multi-personalities, DID, dissociative identity disorder. That's very possible that this is the case. Whether that is the case or he's just a criminal type of person, sadistic and all of that, power hungry, wants to batter someone and make someone feel unloved and ugly in order to make himself feel great. Just people who do something like that alone, I have to judge from my own personal perspective. Okay? From the sky perspective, that's a completely wider picture, the whole thing. Okay, there's also cause and effect that we have to look into, and these people suffer, obviously. Then Paul will misunderstand this as an excuse, which is not. Okay, I don't make excuses for anyone. Okay, but he will always misunderstand it and misinterpret it that way. He can't, because he can't look at it from the sky perspective and say, this is the picture from the sky perspective, this is the picture from my own eye perspective. Okay, from my own emotional beingness perspective. Obviously, I have feelings too, I'm not a saint, I'm not a god, I'm not a guru, I'm not above anyone, I have feelings, I am very vulnerable, I cry very easily, so from my own personal eye perspective, it's very hurtful how Frank has behaved himself, okay? And I believe that is Zane, I really do. He does in your face attacks, and he does, like the trying to make someone feel ugly. Those kind of, like the back type of sadistic, psychological psychoterror, type of stuff that's very, very covert, very hidden, very around the corner. And where I think, is that guy retarded? Or is he on some kind of, is he mixing me up with someone else? Or I don't know what his problem is. But then I realized that's probably Zane, and he is pissed again that I didn't just pay attention only to him, that I'm also nice to others, okay? Look, bro, the others deserve niceness too, okay? You're not so very nice to each other, and everyone in the chat room and in the whole world, okay, they don't experience niceness, okay? The vast majority of people do not experience any kind of compassion or kindness from anyone around them. The vast majority are sadistic and bullies, so they will act it out in that way. And then there's a handful of people that would never hurt anyone, but they suffer too. And many of them end up committing suicide, okay, because they don't hurt anyone. They just want to be left alone, and they're bullied all the time. I'm sort of like in between, in the sense that I can get really, really pissed, and you've seen it already, get really pissed, and Frank Zane gets scared when I get pissed, very scared, and then he has to block me, and then he has to say nasty things behind my back, so I can't see what he's saying. I only know from what the other people say, or from what his sock accounts are saying, that he is saying behind my back after he had blocked me. All of these narcissistic repair mechanisms that are happening all the time. And I do reserve myself the right to psychoanalyze people. I absolutely do. That's my job here on this planet, okay? You should be very grateful for me to point all of these things out. But look, bro, there's no chance for any kind of romance between you and me. And if I ever see this Frank and Barry again, I know now for absolute 100% certainty that it is Zane, and that he is also 100 other accounts. Okay, I'm absolutely certain now. And I think he's also that other guy that was, sometimes he's real nice to me, that other guy. But that's also the same person. And then if I don't cater to his ego, then he becomes absolutely nasty. And like as he said himself, his sneezing can cut cheese. Okay, so, and he's proud of it too. He's really proud of that, of course, So, and he wants to throw a meat hook into my face and watch me go into seizures. He said that. Then he blames the Zane account for it. But all of those are your account, Frank and Barry's. Yes, all of those are your accounts. Okay? You are a motherfucker. That's what you are. Okay? Let's call the kid by the name. Okay? And yeah, so I'm somewhat in between, or not so much like in between. The same with the parties, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Somewhat in between, but not really in between. I'm above, like 100 floors above. Okay, that's where I'm. Maybe not sky perspective, but in my political views are 100 floors above the political shit, and also when it comes to the personality, I'm not really in between. I am 100 floors above that. But I'm not above, like what someone else would say, I thought you were above all of these things, that people have said to me. And I said to them, I am not above anything, absolutely nothing, psychologically, okay? Like when it comes to my feelings and stuff like this. But in terms of pushoverism, or letting people just walk on me, versus sadistic behavior. I can't identify myself with either one. I am none of that. Okay, I'm not a pushover, and I'm not sadistic. I'm not aggressive. I'm not violent. I don't bully. I'm not a bully. I don't bully anyone. So Amazing Jason, also the same account, I say something about politics, that guy comes up and says, Nikki the bully. Huh? I said something political there. Why do you perceive that as bullying? Makes no sense to me, okay? No, I said something political. I said that people in South America, they tortured a baby bear to death. Amazing Jason comes, Nikki the bully. Wow, I'm the bully. Not the men that brutally tortured the baby bear to death in South America. No, they're not the bullies. We're not looking at them, right? We're not pointing the finger at them. No, we're pointing the finger at Nikki the bully, Nikki the Karen. Okay? Bro, that sucks. That is just so retarded, I'm sorry to say it, but it really is. That's just fucking retarded. Man, get a grip, man. Okay? Get a frickin' grip in your life. So yeah, I have a Medusa. I have a lot of anger in me. Okay? It's not like I need anger management. No, my anger is pretty much right on the spot. Okay? My anger comes out when it's called for. Okay? So, no, I'm not a pushover. I'm not a bully. But when I see total shit going on in the world, people torturing a baby bear to death, or people torturing women in the chat room, my Medusa comes up, my anger comes up. I will talk about this. I will. I will stand up for myself. I will confront you frontally on, right into your face. Okay? I mean, besides that, I also want to push a real nasty birthday cake into your frickin' face. Be glad it's not a meat hook. Okay? So, but yeah, birthday cake should be pretty decent, you know. What we need to do with you, Frankie, Zane, motherfucker, okay? We need to take your clothes off, okay? All of it. Because I'm sure you coerce women into taking their clothes off on the internet. So why don't we find you with drones, okay? Take all of your clothes off. Let the robots do that job, because I'm not gonna get my hands dirty. So, but I'll be standing 10 feet away with a medical face mask on, and I'll tell the robot, okay, what to do, you know, how we're gonna be, how we're gonna be handling the situation. So, the robot's gonna take your clothes off, and he is gonna handcuff you to a fence post. Yeah, that'll be good enough, you know. We don't need to do ball and chain on the on the ankles. That's good enough. You can still kick into the air. So, and then we're gonna make a video and show the whole world how you look like. Okay? Here's an offender. Let's take a close look. So, the offender who never shows himself in any photo. And then we need to get this real nasty birthday cake from Rite Aid. The one with the blue and red and green dye in it. And it's not me, I'm not gonna get my hands dirty, but I will let a robot do that and just smash it right into your face. Okay, that'd be good. That would make a nice viral video for TikTok. Let's do TikTok, baby. Okay, that would be great. But you know, I also, from the sky perspective, I have a lot of compassion for you. You know, right now I'm a bit pissed, but from the sky perspective, I have compassion. I know you are a very troubled person. You're not well. You are as neurotic as they come. I mean, like, you would win a contest, like the world contest, maybe the Guinness Book of World Records, for the most neurotic man alive. Okay, that's what I think you are, and I'm not making fun of that. I'm angry, you know, and I have the right to talk about this. So you really take the cake, literally. You really take that birthday cake, man. You really do. I mean, the kind of psychoterror that you have done with me for the last, I don't know, 9 years or something, that I have been on and off in chat rooms. Do you ever sleep? Do you take some Vicodin or sleeping pills sometimes just to get some sleep at all? I'm not making fun of you. I know that you are suffering. I know this is hell. I know your life is total hell. But I have to straighten out. I have to straighten you out, man. I really do. You think you got the law on your side all the time, don't you? I mean, you really think that you are righteous as heck, and that you're whoever is in your obsessive dollhouse, whoever you make, the whoever is out there that you crown into the queen position of your dollhouse of mental constructions. Boy, if that queen lives her own life and has her own thoughts and her own political views that even slightly deviate from her dollhouse attributed role that she is supposed to play, and you really lose your marbles when that happens, and you know it. And that's why I have to straighten you out once in a while. You need to get your ass kicked real hard, and you know it. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this video yet. I will see later once I review it. But I need to say these things, okay? I think it's important for me to say it. And what better color to wear than orange for a video like this, right? Just to spite you, because I know you would never buy orange or pink. Particularly not orange now, okay? Because every time you said you're for Donald Trump, it was a sarcastic frickin' BS lie, okay? That's what it was. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sarcastic BS, okay? I mean, how can we people in this world, how can this species, the human species, how can we communicate even with each other if one person or the other two or everyone is just permanently non-stop sarcastic? How can we communicate? We can't, right? If you're sarcastic and you are in the military and or if you are, it doesn't matter where you are, if you are working for an airport to communicate with incoming flights, or a doctor who is about to do a surgery, or all of this is already really bad for the planet, but that's another subject. Or just, I mean, any type of communication, How is that possible if everyone is permanently sarcastic? I mean, the airplanes, they would be just dropping dead from the sky if that was the case. There would be constantly car accidents. If the traffic light was sarcastic, can you imagine? or anyone who develops traffic lights, or anyone in any kind of in the hospital, the doctor being sarcastic. Or someone says she's dead in the hospital, and they bring her to the morgue, and she's not dead. Like, hello, I'm not dead. He was being sarcastic. Okay. I mean, we have a language for a reason. Okay. We have many different languages, but these languages, they serve a purpose to communicate. Co means together, mute, like mutual, okay? Together we communicate. That means I say something out of the best of my knowledge, straightforward, honest, okay? And if it doesn't please you, you're gonna get pissed and you're gonna get very sarcastic. So, but this is the right way of communication. I say something straightforward and honest to you. Whether that the ego likes that or not is secondary. Okay, let's deal with that later. Maybe it pleases you, maybe it doesn't please you, maybe it makes you very mad. But what I said is straightforward and honest. It comes from the best of my knowledge. Okay? I know something about different subjects, okay, because I watch documentary films. I also observe. I'm very intuitive, so I share that. That's not welcomed. I noticed that also from other people that are very intuitive. That lady Mada one time in a talk show, she said, I better not tell you what I'm seeing here because you're going to take offense. And that person was like, oops, that was already offensive. Like, so, and she said, see, that was already over the line. Most people they cannot deal with straightforwardness and honesty. The entire political system is based on dishonesty. Because of that, nobody dares to say anything, and we make people even more volatile, where we have to walk on eggshells even more and more and more. And that's not therapy. That's the opposite of therapy. That's reverse therapy. That's backwards. Okay, don't even call it therapy. That's backwards psychological behavior towards each other. Okay, that's what that is. And you know it. You know it very, very well. You know what's happening worldwide. Nobody dares to say anything anymore. No one dares to say the truth. They don't want to lose their job. Okay, you keep your fucking job for another 3 months until you get stabbed or beheaded by the people that are in there now that don't like you for your skin color. That's what you got by choosing your job over truth. Okay, so my message is very clear. Say the truth, and things will get better. Okay, this may be a bit rocky at first, and maybe you will lose your job, but maybe you will get a better job with a group of people that prefer honesty. But then your ego says, no, I can't be working there. Or Paul, for example, he could never clean toilets. No, I'm not making fun of him or anything, but that's a perfect example for standing for all of you, okay? And maybe a very meek example at that, No, he can't clean toilets at Ritz-Carlton. No, he wouldn't even talk about it. No. No, so he played drums in a bar for, I don't know, 20 years and ruined his hearing. The rest of the hearing that he still had, he already damaged his hearing through a middle ear infection at age 2. That also caused him dyslexia because he couldn't hear. He couldn't hear the fine tones, the fine tones, the S words, the they call them the consonants and stuff like that. All of those intermittent sounds that are attached to the so-called vocal sounds, like A and O, but the S like O's. He couldn't hear the S, so he was missing out on a whole lot for the English language because of that, and on grammar and so on. His parents never corrected him, so he was very unlucky with this. So, yeah, and then he ruined the rest of his hearing by playing drums, and they didn't allow him to wear earplugs because what if a customer saw that? That wouldn't look good in a country western bar. And the barkeeper, the bar owner, who liked him, but he wanted him to drink. He forced him to drink alcohol. So he ruined his health. That also caused diabetes. All of these things, right? Just because the ego. And he hated it. I have to say that, to add that, because someone else will say, well, but there's another variable. Well, he did what he loved. No, he didn't. No, he hated that. He hated playing drums for a measly $50 per night. Okay, he hated that. Was in the same people that were violent, the drunks in the bar, real mean women there that just insulted him. And he was a smoker at that time. It was real hard for him to quit because George wanted him to smoke and drink alcohol because that's what everyone else did back there in the 80s and 90s and so on. And so, yeah, all of that only for the ego. Okay. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. What we all do for the ego, myself included. I'm not scot-free with all of this, okay? We do all kinds of horrible things just to serve our ego. But particularly when we're not consciously aware about it, okay? When we're not consciously aware about this stuff, it really takes over. It really, really takes on another height of neurosis. So, but I've always been fairly conscious about things, but there were some things that I was not conscious about. And there was like one particular thing, when we were living in the motorhome, that was very hard on my ego. But it was a necessity. It was soul school of the rawest, okay. And it was necessary. We also wanted to say we had to save money. We would not have done it if we had not had this limited budget, and we didn't want to waste the money that we got from selling the house in LA. So we wanted to be careful with that, and that was good, but it was hard school, for three years homeless living in a Winnebago. I mean, but then again, I got to see and talk to a lot of people, also got to learn about what alcoholism does to people, causing them homelessness and so on. And they're totally down and out. And all of this, I don't know how much money you probably have millions of dollars, Frankie, And so for you, the alcoholism is probably not gonna tear you into the gutter, but it's gonna it's killing you, okay? And it's a slow suicide, and you know it, okay? I have to say it, and because I care. I hate to see people doing this to themselves. I absolutely hate it. But anyway, we were living in the motorhome, so I was starting to get tired of it. So finally, once we came here, we were in Reno first. I got these blue electric shocks there all the time. And I noticed that Teal Swan said something like this too, that she has this thing with electricity. So do I, because obviously, and I'm not comparing myself to her, but her brain is also wired in the way, and so is my brain, wired in a very psychic and a very highly intuitive and very, very complex form. Very complex brain, okay? Complex neuronal activity, which is based on electricity, obviously, And the more complex a nervous system is, the more obviously it is sensitive to electric currents. That's obvious. So I got like these blue lightning, literally blue lightning coming out of metal. I didn't even have to touch it. I could be this far away from the metal, and the blue lightning zigzags, this I don't know, this like an arrow shooting out of the metal into my skin, into my whole body, and it was really painful. It would shatter my bones. It was so bad. So we had to come back to the Pacific Northwest. We had to come back to the ocean. And I got tired of being in the motorhome. I said, we have to look now for a place where we can be more permanently. Why don't we? And then Paul said, I don't want to buy something. I don't want to buy a house right now while the prices are at the highest. And they were really at the highest. And that was like, that was still in 2005. And that was before that recession happened, before the bubble burst. So, and I understood, but I needed a permanent place, And so we were looking, and so we found a trailer spot that had like a small, sort of like a small house built on it. That was there permanently. That was built actually out of cinder blocks, like some sort of like a studio house, which was really perfect for us, Then there was also a large Airstream trailer, which Paul has always wanted to have, That was his dream. And I deeply regret that I said I cannot go there. I cannot be living there in that trailer spot. And the reason why is because I felt ashamed. Yeah. I feel pretty ashamed saying that I felt ashamed about this. I mean, I also feel just deep regret about it. Looking back on it today, that shows me that, boy, I have done a lot of healing in this time since 2005, 2006. I think it was in 2006 when we found that trailer spot, and real nice realtor that was also in Oregon. Realtor nice, and the lady who was running the trailer park, really nice, really high class, sophisticated. It was older people for people 65 or something, but she made an exception for us because at that time Paul was under 65 and I was still in my 40s. So, but she made an exception for us because she liked Samantha, our Great Dane, and she liked us, and it was all perfect, and we could have had it. and we could have bought it from the realtor. So it was like, I don't know how much the stuff there, that fairly large studio room, and that Airstream, very, very large Airstream trailer. Okay, but there's another variable that comes in. The Airstream trailer smelled like cigarettes. Okay, so, and I have extreme OCD with it, and I thought Paul is gonna go in there without even cleaning it, and he couldn't even clean it if he wanted to, and then Samantha is gonna lie down on that dirty couch, and then she's gonna come into my room and she's gonna have cigarette particles. So that was a biggie too. But I have to say the biggest, probably, because I remember I caught myself in the act. I remember very clearly, because I first said, okay, let's take it. And we were about to make an offer on it when I had these last second thoughts. And the thoughts, it was bothering me really bad with that Airstream trailer, and I knew that I was going to be exposed to those cigarette particles. But that was that made up about, I would say, 30% of the objection to this move, to buying this spot. It was 70% of my resistance that is attributed to me feeling ashamed of buying this trailer spot. And then my parents will say, we want to see your new home, make some photos, make some videos. And I felt ashamed, and I felt like I'm gonna have to tell my parents, this is not a house, this is a trailer space, okay, in an old people's trailer park. Today I would have no problem with this whatsoever. You know, if I can turn the time back, I can say, oh, let's get that place, please. Okay, just so we have a permanent address, so we have a permanent place. We can still travel, but we have this place where we can put all of our, he had one big, large storage room full of stuff that he brought with him, and I was against that he had overloaded the motorhome with. And then we had to go back one time to pick up more stuff from a friend's house where he had stored more stuff. So then we had like so much stuff, and I didn't want to accumulate all of that stuff, but he's from the United States. He is a US American, born in Santa Monica, grew up in LA, okay, and he has the US illness, and the US illness is hoarding, accumulating, can't let go of things. Okay, I see this all the time. I see that with homeless people. What a horrible burden. What a horrible life these people live, They have all of their lively belongings in a storage, not just one storage room, storage facility. They have like, I know one woman, she has her stuff in storage facilities from here all the way down to San Francisco. I mean, it's that bad. And she spends all of her SSI money on keeping this stuff on the rent of those storage rooms. Now that's severe, That's a severe case of this. But Paul is also not that far off with that. Okay, he loaded this house up so desperately. I said, maybe next year on Halloween we'll be finally ready to show the house, because I don't know how we're going to get this done, with all of that stuff, and then not having any help, not having a moving company help us, and we're just 2 people. Then he injured his rib also. He fell at the other house. It's real hard for him to carry anything. I can't carry super heavy stuff. No, I mean, I can carry quite a bit more than he can. But one time he made me carry stuff that was way over the top. And I got a carpal tunnel infection. For a whole month, I could not move even my little finger. It hurt so bad. The ligaments, was all inflamed because I overstrained my muscles and my ligaments. So no, I'm not. I'm not the Michelin tire man, even though I look like it. So I still have female wrists, because I'm a female. I'm not a big burly construction worker guy, But he keeps forgetting that, and it's like, oh, you need to help me with this. Help me. You can do it. You're so strong. Yeah. Well, that has its limits too, So, but anyway, yeah, I felt ashamed of that trailer spot, that was perfect for us for that time. Yeah. That would have been just a temporary solution, maybe for a year or 2 or 3, until the bubble burst, until the real estate prices plummet to the ground. We could have had that. Then we could have made our moves, Then we could have bought something really nice. I mean, this house is nice. We didn't do so bad with the 2 houses. We didn't do bad at all, but still, I mean, we could have done a whole lot better in terms of investment. But I had to blow it because I felt ashamed. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm addressing. The ego shoots itself in the foot. That's what the ego does. And the men in the chat room, they shoot themselves in the foot all the time. Or I don't know if that's all one person. Frankie. He's also Sanjana, and he tortured me a great deal with that Sanjana account. But the meat hook, that really took the cake, literally. But I don't forget these things, I'm not that easily appeased. You come back in a better mood, it's like, no, bro, I don't forget what you've done to me. And I talked to you about this under your other, that simulacra Viro account, I talked to you about this, and you said you don't apologize for it. You don't feel sorry for what you did to me, the dumping and all of that. No, bro, there's no chance. In a million years, I will never be romantic with you, ever. I can't. I care about you as a friend, from the sky perspective, but I can't even be friends with you. I could not even be normal friends with you. Could not. Even if you were into normal friends, I couldn't even do it because you are such an asshole that it's just, it really is a record breaker. It really is. And you need to introspect. What you're doing there to other people, you're also doing it to yourself at the same time. That's what Jiddu Krishnamurti said, And that's why Jiddu Krishnamurti would always say, instead of saying something like an adjective, for example, I have to find an example now. For example, I'm jealous, He would say, I'm jealousy, because when we are jealous, in that moment, we are jealousy, Or, I'm angry. I am anger in that moment, So, or if there's no division, If I am hitting someone in the face, I'm hitting myself. If you hit someone, And that's what I like about what the mother of Chris Rock said. She said what that other guy that what's his name? The other actor. I'm sorry, I really can't figure. I don't know. Somehow I have a brain block right now. So Will Smith, okay. So I didn't mean this at all in some kind of sarcastic way. That Will Smith, you know, what Chris Rock's mother said, what Will Smith did there, punching her son, like right there on the stage, is like he was punching all of us. And I add, he also punched himself by doing this. You know, he can't control his anger at all. You know, I've seen him also before in interviews where he could not control his anger at all. And so the first step is, if we want to heal, we need to look into our own mind. We need to introspect. Okay. We need to become very crystal clear on how our mind is working and how we behave, how we act in the world towards others, how we manage things. That's very, very, very important, all of this. And so people, they think they can just be angry, and then the next they can just wish someone like Philip Jones wishing me suicide, and then a week later, oh, I want to see you nude. Bro, you wished me suicide a week before. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry at all. Not the slightest bit. You want it, and if the whoever you want is flirting with someone else, you wish her suicide. Okay, so that's not love. That's not friendship. That's not romance. That's not kindness. That doesn't make the world better. It makes the world suffer. Okay, we have to become aware about this. Become aware. Awareness, and say to yourself, I've had it. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I've had it. Tony Robbins said, if something doesn't work, change your approach. Okay, your approach to dating women and love life, okay, is obviously reversed. Okay, so become aware and change that. Okay, and be nice to people. Be nice to women. Treat people nice. Be you in the chat room. Come as you with your photo. Not naked, not... all of this is so narcissistic. Okay. Please have a shirt on, okay, and show yourself. Show your upper body and your face. You can hold a dog, you can hold a cat, but show your face and upper body with nice clothes on, and you will get women to like you and trust you better. Women are not into men that show their chest. They come across as stupid or narcissistic. Okay, this is real rock solid advice. Take my advice for this. Okay, and be more decent to women. Don't fall with the door into the house, with your sexual favor requests. Okay, make friends first. See if you even get along. Okay, trust me on this one. Sex is nice when people trust each other. It's not that nice and pleasant if it's based on sadomaso. Even just the mind state of that is not nice. Okay, so, and I'm very well aware of that. I don't want sadomaso anymore. I want a boyfriend who loves me, who respects me, who does not hurt me, who does not try to hurt me in any form, whether through a meat hook or some psycho terror or insults or whatever, you know. So I want a boyfriend who shows me his appreciation. Can be, of course, lust is important, lust is good, but don't mix lust with hate and abusiveness, okay? So mix it with love, okay? What Frank has for me is not love, okay? He said one time, he said lust and love in a balance. No. It's not. There's no love at all. It's hate and lust. That's what it. Face it and deal with it, okay? Peace out.